Welcome to episode 32 of the Bach and Arthur podcast.
Yeah, let's go.
Celebrating our own podcast never gets old, does it?
I'm celebrating the presence of the listener.
Oh, do you know what we will be celebrating?
What's that?
Somebody's birthday. That's what we're kicking things off with. Then we're going to move on to idioms. No, not idiots. Idioms. Arthur's prepared a little idiom thing. Then we're going to be doing a type of guy who. So we're going to be going back and forth like Arthur's the type of guy who, Batch is the type of guy who. We've got you guys to send in some stuff. So that'll be interesting to see what you think of us. Then we're going to move on to science, fact or fiction.
You created a science game. I love
You're getting tested now.
I'm on the other end of this.
Yeah,
testing.
usually it's you doing this.
Probe away, my friend.
And then we're going to be speaking about time travel. So
briefly, we've got a fun, mind-bending segment.
We do. We've got an experiment.
It'll be brief. Well, depending on how you view time.
True.
Is it linear?
Or is it fat?
Or is it bulbous?
Yeah, is it bulbous? Bulbous potatoes. Anyway.
Speaking of bulbous, it's someone's birthday today.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about my nose.
You haven't got a bulb.
No, but I thought you were going to talk. I thought you were going to segue. We've just done smelling salts.
We have. If you're wondering why Batch looks slightly spun out, it's because we just did the fattest whiffs of these smelling salts.
Yeah, honestly, I think I took a little. I got peer pressure, to be honest.
I took a medium-sized one, and then he tried to went, "Ooh, no!" And we were like, "Boo!" And Lara was laughing at him.
I got peer pressure to do a bigger snort.
And then he put that.
It fucked me up.
Then he put that entire schnoz deep in the ammonium mines. It was crazy.
Yeah, joke's on you because I'm smelling all the colours and I can see all the tastes.
Oh, why do you still smell bad then? By the way, that's a really cool jumper you've got on.
Oh, thanks. This is a merch sample, which merch will probably drop.
Batch merch, by the way. I'm not involved in this.
Yeah, he's not. He's just complimenting
That's
me.
Cowboy Boy merch. We're going to do space merch if we ever get around to it.
Yeah, we're going to do space merch,
and then we're going to do a space cowboy merch because our merch company and his merch company are currently planning on mating.
Yeah, and having sex.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, happy birthday to Random Stranger.
That's a really good jingle. If this becomes a regular thing, that's a great jingle.
But they're not Random Stranger, actually. They're a famous person. Let's do that again. Happy birthday to famous person.
But who could it be?
But who is it? So, today is the 7th of November. So that's the recording date, unfortunately not the upload date, because we were like, other people are going to listen to this on different days.
Yeah, because this was
the smelling salts really fucked him up.
It's funny because this segment idea came from Lara, and Lara had suggested it a couple times on the pods, and I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. But Arthur every time has been a bit like, I'm not sure if it's not relevant for the future and stuff like that, because this whole time he thought Lara meant, we just say happy birthday to a celebrity at the beginning of the episode, and that's a whole segment.
She kept being like, you can discuss it loads, and I was like, right. So we go, happy birthday. Yeah. Tom Hanks, and then what do we say? I loved him in.
I know, we were having a discussion in the beginning, and you were like, "Okay, so say it's Stephen Hawking. We say happy birthday, Stephen Hawking. Then what do you say?" And I was like, "You're not getting it."
And then they explained it, and I was like, "This is the best segment idea ever."
Oh god, it's so funny.
Lara should be paid at least $3 billion a month for this.
Yeah, we should actually start paying her. Yeah, we should.
Yeah,
she's doing all this for free.
Smash like and subscribe and rate the podcast 5 stars if you think that we should free Lara. Actually, no.
She's not bound.
She's bound contractually to this podcast forever.
True.
Anyway, so 7th of November, have you got any aura? Because, by the way, he saw yesterday that my birthday was in April, and he was like, no man is born in April. That's so embarrassing. And I was like, is that negative aura?
There's no other guy born in April other than Arthur. That's crazy. You're born in April. That
makes it sound cooler, though.
No, I got 2 sisters born in April.
Them.
2 sisters born in April. Let that sink in.
We'd get out on like a house on fire. And as an Aries, we love fire. So we'd love getting on.
I don't know. Yeah, you love fire a bit too much. What were you doing recently? And you were like, I need to go towards that. There was just a fire, and you were like,
we were at a bonfire. It was night.
We were at a bonfire.
5th of November.
Yeah, and you were like, no, that's like, that's my favourite thing ever.
Everyone was getting ready to leave. Like, we went to watch the fireworks at Ali Pali.
Yeah.
Had some like food, snacks and stuff. Watched the drone show, and then everyone was like, do you want to, let's leave? Oh no, and actually we went on the ride that like spins you around and bounces you up and down. And Batch wouldn't come on it. So it was just me and George with Liv squashed in between us.
Oh God! And I got the ick from all three of you, just there going like this.
The funniest bit was at the end of the ride. They were like, "Okay, get ready to get off," and like we were on like a sofa like this, and Liv in between us, and then like metal bar comes off, and I jump out, and I forget that they put one big seatbelt across the three of us, so I was just dangling by like this seatbelt, holding me up like a kid that had fallen out of its chair.
And you know, I only took because me and Arthur went to the toilets, the Portaloos, Arthur Hill, whilst you were on this ride, and like I think it was a big group of girls asked for a photo whilst we stood outside, and then a family and two little girls asked for a photo, and we thought we look so fucking weird right now, loitering around the Portaloos taking photos. We're like, we need to get out of here. We came back and you were just ending, and then you got caught up.
That was a real. I was losing a lot of aura. But yeah, on the way out, like the bonfire had reached that state where it was just like a really nice sort of like ethereal glow, and I just love it. I was saying, it's very soporific. I could sort of just stand in front of a fire or glowing embers just for hours, just watching it.
And I agree, but you were saying it's my favourite thing in the world.
Yeah,
Which creeped me out a little bit. I've got to be honest.
I love it. I find it so fascinating.
Anyway, I'm a bit terrified. So
anyway, I feel like we're like 20 minutes. We did the intro for this segment 20 minutes ago. We haven't got...
Moving on to another segment. Now that we've avoided that.
We love our tangy tangents. But no, 7th of November, what kind of aura do you get? What type of person do you think this is? They're famous and that's all you know.
Oh, they're powerful, all right. It's Morgan Freeman.
Oh, hi, Morgan
That would
Freeman.
be crazy if you knew it.
I'm getting... I do think it's a man. An older gentleman.
Interesting.
A famous older gentleman.
So this time I've got 4 clues and I want you to see if you can get it as early as possible. We will maybe another time do asking questions, but I just fear the segment will be ruined if you ask one specific question that's relatively common.
I'm also quite high.
Okay. So first up, they're a scientist.
I knew it. It ain't Newton.
Well, ain't Morgan Freeman either.
What do you know about Morgan Freeman? Seriously.
Has he done science?
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
All right, is it Isaac Newton?
No.
It would be a bit boring if I got it straight.
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be like,
well, that's segment done.
Well, okay.
Anyway, thanks for watching the podcast.
Should I ask? Oh, you've got a clue. It's a scientist.
Yeah.
Male or female?
No, I don't think I can. That's what I was saying. I don't think
Do they have a vagina?
No, I'm not going to answer any of your
Could
questions.
they use a rose toy if they wanted to?
Clue number 2. They were born in Poland, naturalized in France.
Mary Curie. Is it Mary Curie?
It is Mary Curie.
I was feeling Mary Curie inside me.
Really?
That radioactive princess. I love Mary Curie as well.
So what do you know of Mary Curie?
So she worked on uranium, right? Which eventually killed her.
At times.
Or plutonium. She was a radioactive scientist.
Yeah.
You can go and see her lab, and if you bring the I can't remember what the instrument is to detect radiation, but if you scan over, like the doorknob is so radioactive because obviously she was touching uranium, plutonium, and then touching doorknobs and stuff like that. But yeah, she got a Nobel Prize for her work as well, didn't she?
Yeah, first women.
Yeah.
First women? Women.
First women to ever get a Nobel Prize.
First woman to ever win a Nobel Prize. Yeah. The first and only person to ever win Nobel Prizes in 2 different fields.
I didn't know that.
Do you know what they were?
I'd guess chemistry.
Yep.
And physics.
Yep. That's pretty easy.
That it?
I mean,
cool.
It wouldn't be a peace prize, probably, would it? Or maybe.
No.
Because
actually.
Obviously she was doing her work. So let's go through this. So she obviously moved to France. She married Pierre Curie. And in July 1998, she published a joint paper with him. How cool is that, by the way? Like falling in love with someone who equally loves science with you and then just doing science work and winning a Nobel Prize with them.
You hinting at something right now.
Maybe. So they published a joint paper announcing the existence of an element they named polonium in honor of her native Poland. She was really like, she never really lost her sense of identity with Poland. Yeah. She always kept her name like double-barreled. In fact, I have it written down, but I just knew I couldn't pronounce it.
Such a fabulous scientist she truly is. I love Mary Curie. Do you know, when I said Isaac Newton as well, the next thing in my head before you gave me another clue was, I bet it's Mary Curie.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Here, we've got a pronunciation. Is it going to tell us?
Maria Skłodowska-Curie.
Okay.
Which is exactly what I've been saying, actually. So.
Yeah, but it's spelled like Sklodowska. Anyway, I'm probably butchering that pronunciation. Apologies to the...
Oh, someone get him some fresh meat so he can butcher that as well.
But But yeah, she was just very, very proud that she taught her daughters Polish. She obviously kept her Polish name, and obviously named polonium after her native Poland. So yeah, she was a big fan of it. And then on 26th of December, 1898, so literally only a few months later, they announced the existence of a second element, which they named radium.
Radium.
From the Latin word for ray, radius. And in the course of their research, they also coined the term radioactivity, which is very cool.
Yeah.
And so, in 1903, the Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences awarded Marie Curie, along with Pierre Curie and Henry Becquerel, the Nobel Prize in Physics in recognition of the extraordinary services they have rendered by their joint researches on radiation, making her the first woman to win a Nobel Prize. And so in that work, she developed the theory of radioactivity, a term she coined, established methods for isolating radioactive isotopes, which laid the foundation for many modern advancements in nuclear physics and chemistry. And then, went on in 1911 to win the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in recognition of her services to the advancement of chemistry by the discovery of those two elements. So first person to win a Nobel Prize twice and in two different scientific fields.
That's really cool.
First person to win a Nobel Prize twice and the only person to win them in two scientific fields, which is quite cool.
And first woman.
But yeah, she also realised in her work, because obviously like this was pre-World War One, that radium kills cancerous like tumour generating cells faster than healthy cells. Yeah. So she sort of helped advance medicine as well. Yeah. And then during World War One, she helped to develop mobile X-ray units, which is crucial for wounded soldiers.
She was a great woman.
Pretty cool. And also like her legacy extends so much in terms of being a pioneer and a pathway for women in STEM, just being like such an iconic figure for women to look up to and follow her lead and just be like, wow, she really, it was such a pioneer for women in academia and research and STEM fields.
And she would have loved this podcast as well.
Yeah, and it's good. It's good timing. Good timing because I'm watching Chernobyl. I told you about this the other day, didn't I?
You did.
I told you should watch it because it is a brilliant series. I'm only 3 episodes in, but I just love it. Yeah. And I spend a lot of time like pausing it, being like, oh, how exactly does that work? Like,
well, then you look it up. Yeah.
How exactly? What was the mechanism by which they extracted energy from this? And how did it explode? What caused it to explode? How do people die even from it? It's all quite interesting. Maybe when I finish, we can go through a bit of nuclear power. I think is really fascinating as well because
Fusion
I feel like
fission.
People on both sides of pro and anti-nuclear power feel like a lot of people miss like really key points.
Yeah,
like
I think they
pros
think
and
nuclear
cons.
power is something that it isn't.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, nuclear is scary, Chernobyl, and a lot of people are like, pro, it's clean energy, it's easy and you know you get a lot of energy from it, but they're just it's quite complex.
I think they look at it and think. Like, you know, you watch Simpsons and stuff like that, and like radioactivity, you typically think from watching things, it's like some like green glowing substance that can kill you, and it's like, but it's just not the case.
It could just blow up your whole town.
Yeah, it's just atomic stuff.
And at the same time, people are like, why do we bother with solar and wind and all that kind of stuff when we can just do nuclear energy? And it's like, well, it's actually not that easy to build a nuclear power plant. It's expensive and you've got to look at long-term returns.
You've got to deal with the waste as well.
Yeah. Although even stuff like that, like the waste nowadays, a lot of the waste is essentially recycled and stuff. But a really interesting one where we can...
just chuck it on Birmingham.
Maybe.
I take that back because I like the bull ring.
Because I think, I don't know if I'm remembering this right, but living in Jersey, I think the French were building one on the north coast of France, and everyone in Jersey was like, if that explodes, it's going to kill us all. And it's like, the chances of that exploding are like, I mean, that's why Chernobyl is so famous. Like, that was in the 1980s and like hasn't really happened since.
As long as Homer isn't in control, we'll be fine.
Yeah. That silly old dog.
Homer Simpson I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Not the Greek philosopher.
You're not a philosopher.
Yeah. Iliad. Anyway.
Did you just call me an idiot?
Speaking of idiots, idioms.
I thought you were going to introduce the guest.
Oh.
Imagine. And it was just one of our friends, and it was an elaborate way of calling them an idiot.
Butter me up.
Not right
Honey
now.
cup.
Oh.
So the first idiom, butter someone up. So essentially the way this is going to work, I've got 4 idioms.
Don't raise your hand at me. Yeah.
And I'm going to go through a couple of plausible explanations of their origins.
Okay.
And Lara did essentially all the work on this one, so shout out Lara. She smashed it. This is very cool and interesting and
Did
fun.
we do anything?
Anyway, butter someone up. Is it A, a customary religious act in ancient India? The devout would throw butterballs at the statues of their gods. They believed that this would render them in good stead with the gods or result in general good fortune. Thoughts on that?
First thought is butterball is a funny word to me.
It's a great word.
Second thought is... Oh, I've got no other thoughts up there. That's really weird. Wait, hang on. Yeah, the second thought is you've got to make the butter into a ball for some reason.
Easier to throw.
Is it easier to throw a ball?
That's
than
why
a
you
disc?
make snowballs rather than snow discs.
Then why is discus a thing?
Because it's so hard.
Then why do I throw my ass in a circle when I'm in the club?
You cannot throw that thing back.
Okay,
You are
know
not
full
George
well I
Clarkey.
can. You know full. Oh yeah, that's true. Okay, so butterball. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, it could be true. It could be true.
B,
Yeah, it's
it
big.
comes from medieval Europe, as noble men and women would sometimes butter their servants' hands before asking them for a favour. This was seen as a way to ensure that the servant would handle the request with care and attention, as buttering the hands was thought to make them smoother and more efficient.
Hell no.
No?
It could be. Why would you butter up their hands? It's like just take it. I feel
Why
like
would you throw butter
That
at
just
the-
makes sense. So back then they were so rich. They were like, oh, I'm just going to butter someone's fucking hands because I can.
Yeah.
They're evil.
C. In ancient Rome, politicians would sometimes present their supporters with lavish gifts, including jars of butter. The butter was considered a prized food, often reserved for important meals or special occasions. Senators seeking to gain the favour of their constituents or fellow politicians would send gifts of butter with flattering notes or invitations to dine. The gift was seen as both a symbol of wealth and a way to smooth over political tensions.
I'm thinking because of how long that one was, it's probably the truth. Or you're trying to throw me off and you're an evil, evil little creature. I think it's C. I think it's butter gift.
The answer is A.
Oh, you're so happy. It worked. Oh my God, what an elaborate lie. Thanks.
Yeah, and a customary religious act in ancient
Butterballs.
India. They just throw butterballs at the feet of
That's really cool.
statues.
Fair enough. I'll just go around grabbing them, putting it on bread and eating that thing down.
Really?
Yeah, I would. You don't believe me?
Yeah. Comes from an ancient Hindu tradition of throwing balls of ghee butter or ghee butter
Oh,
at statues
ghee.
of God fast for their favours. First appeared in the late 18th century. Anyway,
Of course, ghee, clarified butter.
interesting.
It's better for you.
Under the weather. Ever heard that one before? Oh, I'm feeling under the weather. Ever heard that one before? Anyone ever said to you, I'm feeling under the weather? Have you ever heard that one?
I can feel the smelling salts in the back of my brain.
You're looking under the weather. Ever since you've done that, the eyes
can
are,
feel
your
it.
eyes are doing that thing where they point in different directions.
Ah, the eyes, Chico. They never lie.
They never
don't
lie.
They don't lie.
Yeah. A. In ancient Rome, the festival of Bacchus, who is the equivalent of,
Bacchus.
Dionysus.
George Clarkey in a pair of sports shorts.
well, it is among other things the god of fertility,
Well,
but also wine and agriculture. Anyway, I digress. Was a time, the festival of Bacchus was a time of celebration and feasting. However, not everyone could participate.
what?
You heard me.
Participate, mate.
Not everyone could participate. Precipitate.
Go ahead,
Not
you've got
everyone
it.
could pass.
Come on. Come
Right,
on.
well, I was trying to
You've
do
got
it.
it. What is it?
Not everyone could participate in the revelry, especially those who had overindulged in wine and festivities. The priests would sometimes remove those who had fallen ill or fainted from the celebration and take them to a quiet room to recover, away from the chaos. The room was often described as being under the weather, meaning it was in the lower part of the temple, away from the noise and excitement.
I blacked out a little bit between that.
B. Get him some more smelling salts. Let's wake this little boy up.
Make these fucking shorter.
B. Apothecaries. Yeah,
Reading
really
me.
long. I didn't realise they'd be so... We're going to be here all night. Lara, cancel my 9 p.m. massage with Batch.
What?
You heard. Anyway,
No, I didn't. I can't hear anything.
you just got the ringing noise in your head. Like you've been...
Wait, why the fuck? Why are these
flashbanged.
lights? What's going on?
B. Apothecaries in medieval Europe would prescribe herbal remedies for various ailments.
Herb.
If someone had a mild illness like a cold or a fever, they would sometimes be advised to rest and stay in a dark room, away from the harsh sunlight or weather outside. The apothecary would often say that the person was under the weather, meaning they should avoid exposure to the elements whilst recovering? Or C? Oh, go ahead. Comment away.
No, I just I don't think it's that because I don't want to.
C. They believed this is believed to be nautical in nature. Nautical. When a sailor was feeling ill, he would go beneath the bow, which is the front part of the boat. Did you know that already?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm Batch. I've got 2.1 million followers on
Titanic.
TikTok and I've got a couple of yachts.
5 billion followers on TikTok.
This would hopefully protect him from adverse conditions, as he was literally under the bad weather that could further sicken him. Therefore, a sailor who was sick could be described as being under the weather. So all similar sort of vibes, which makes it harder for you.
I'm going first. Number C.
You are correct.
That's going in my coldest moment compilation.
You're a naughty boy, nautical boy. I don't know.
But let's move on immediately. It just made the most sense to me. And I like pirates.
To give someone the cold shoulder. You know this
Oh.
one? I feel like you might have heard this one because this is quite popular. I've heard this one.
No, I've
before.
not heard this one.
Oh, it means like to be like cold to someone. Or
Oh.
not speak.
No, I know that bit.
Made you look silly. Oh, you don't know the origins.
Oh yeah. Well, if you ever want
What would you guess? To give someone the cold shoulder.
B.
I don't know how you've done that. It's very impressive.
To give someone the cold shoulder, I just say because like back in the when the Vikings invaded, they would come from a colder land, and they would kill everyone in the monasteries, and their shoulders were often
And they dropped the shoulder when they
quite cold.
when
And
they
go,
invaded. Yeah. Just shouldn't have dropped the shoulder. Anyway.
Shouldn't have dropped the shoulder. Stop! I just flung my shoulder.
Anyway, that's a ridiculous and stupid suggestion. Just kidding.
Don't.
It might come up actually.
Don't. You'll get frostbite on that one.
Ooh, give me the cold shoulder. So, is it A? Does it refer to an old custom of giving an unwelcome guest a cold piece of meat from the shoulder of mutton, pork, beef chop?
Who came up with that? I need to speak to them immediately. That's fantastic.
As opposed to a welcome guest receiving a warm serving, this was a polite way to communicate, you may leave now.
That's fantastic.
Is it B? It is believed that this dates back to ancient Rome, where ice merchants would travel around the city selling ice to wealthy families.
Ain't no way there was ice.
If a merchant wanted to signal to someone that they had already made an agreement with another client or simply didn't want to deal with them, they would turn their carts front towards the person, showing not only the cold icy side, the cold shoulder. Sorry, showing only the cold icy side.
Nah.
This gesture was a clear sign of rejection or dismissal.
Nah. Ice merchants want to make some money. I know them. I know them well.
In ancient Rome, ice merchants.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Oh, that's funny because that's the right answer, huh?
Maybe not. Yeah, how would they get ice? Who knows? Maybe that's not a likely answer. See, in Viking culture, Vikings would often greet each other with elaborate displays of respect. They would drop the shoulder, including ritualized gestures like offering their shoulders as a sign of trust and camaraderie. You know when you dap someone up and you lean in with the shoulder? You lean in with a warm shoulder.
Yeah.
They didn't do that. However, if a Viking warrior had been dishonored or was being excluded from an important decision, a fellow warrior might deliberately turn away, offering only his shoulder, meaning he would not engage.
Listen. You're speaking to a guy who's an expert in the Vikings. I watched Vikings, all the seasons. I'm familiar with Ragnar Lothbrok.
Whoa.
I'm familiar with Björn Ironside.
Whoa.
I'm familiar with Ivar the Boneless.
Whoa. He had bones.
No, he didn't.
Really?
No bones. It was all cartilage. And I'm familiar with you.
I guess
and your
Gilderoy
lies.
Lockhart tried to heal one of his bones once.
Who's Gilderoy Lockhart?
Gilderoy Lockhart.
Who's Gilderoy Lockhart?
When Harry in Quidditch falls over and breaks his arm.
Harry Potter was not during the Vikings. He was in a different era.
You sure?
Yeah.
I thought he was a Viking.
No, he was not a Viking.
What was Dumbledore then?
A dweeb.
Don't you insult the greatest wizard that ever lived. No one insults Albus Dumbledore in front of me.
Hey, go hang out with the neighbour's kid. I just memed your ass.
No, that's definitely getting clipped as well.
I just memed your ass.
God damn it.
Okay.
No one clip that. Please no one clip that.
The answer.
No, I don't want people thinking I'm a nerd.
Okay, the answer is number A.
You're right again.
Oh God, I can't help
Give them a
it.
cold bit of shoulder.
That's really brilliant. If you had made that up, I would have literally given you a foot rub right now. I'm not giving you a foot rub either. Anyway, carry on.
That's so forced. Final one. Oh, you like this one because you're famous for it. Beat around the bush.
Okay.
And then, like, you go on a lot of tangents, but as I was saying,
It just sounds like I just beat around a bush. In real life, like a rose bush.
you are very sexually charged.
How am I sexually charged?
Don't know.
I
Is your
don't
rose
even
toy
have a
charged?
penis.
What?
No, it's not charged.
Is it not?
No, it keeps short circuit. I need a new fuse.
I have recently figured out that if you put a few drops of radium in the rose toy, it gives it a special tingle.
You are literally going to die early. Your Temu rose toy covered in radium is killing you. It's not worth the pleasure.
Beat around the bush. In the early days of fishing, especially in coastal towns, fishermen would use long sticks to beat the bushes on the shore as a way of scaring out fish hiding in the underbush of shallow waters. However, when certain fish were especially wary, fishermen would sometimes beat around the edges of the bush, never fully entering the dense growth, to gradually draw the fish out into the open.
Just the rim.
Yeah.
Hey, it could be true. It could be a lie.
This comes from medieval times and the European practice of game hunting. Elite hunters would hire men to beat around the bushes with sticks and other objects, causing birds to take flight, and then hunters would catch the birds in nets.
Interesting. Why would they not just carry on?
Or C, in ancient times, herbalists would gather medicinal plants from dense undergrowth and bushes, rather than directly pulling plants out of the ground, which could damage the roots or weaken their medicinal properties. They would gently beat around the edges of the bush to loosen the plants and encourage them to release their seeds or leaves without harming the main plant. This indirect method of harvesting became associated with cautious roundabout approaches.
Release your seed. Release your seed.
That is crazy.
A.
Let me slide along 3 inches to the left and
Get obliterated. A is the answer.
incorrect. It's close. It's the medieval one of an European practice of game hunting.
No.
But
Make it A. Make it A.
I guess it's kind of like beating around the bush. It's like, why not go in straight in that bush and hunt it? But
And also, you made all these up, right? Tell them.
no, that's actually their origins.
Beating around the bloody bush.
We beat around the bush so much.
There's nothing I love more than beating around the bush. There's nothing I love more than beating around the bush. There's nothing I love more than beating around the bush. There's nothing I love more than being frank.
Bach's the type of guy to beat around a bush. Speaking of, we put. Someone made a TikTok, a really mean one of me the other day, being like, Arthur, the type of guy to honk shoe when he's asleep. And it was like a 10 slides of like Arthur, the type of guy to, and just cooking me for being a little dweeb.
Do you know what's funny actually? Downstairs there's like a cafe and they'd made a fresh hot pie and the steam was coming off it. And as we walked in, Arthur just started floating towards it.
Eyes closed, following a
The
perfect
steam
path
going
of
into his
steam.
nose. He was going, "Ah," and birds were like tweeting around his head. It was so funny. So funny.
So we did 2 things for these. We put on our Instagram story, complete batch, the type of guy Arthur, the type of guy too. So if you're not following us on social media, please do so. And secondly, we put it on the Patreon saying, give me that. So I was thinking I could do the Instagram and then you could do the Patreon.
Okay, sure.
So Arthur, the type of guy too, clap when the plane lands. Have I been on a flight with you?
Yeah.
I do that sometimes.
You didn't clap when I was on the flight, but it's the sort of thing you do when you're alone, I think.
No, it's the other way around. When we're in groups, I just find it so... I can't remember what it was. I think it was when we flew back from Dubai.
Yeah.
I think we were just a bit delirious from the lack of water, dehydrated. It had been a busy few days. We had been on the sand dunes out in the desert from like 3 a.m. and stuff. So we were just all over the place. And at the end, when it landed, I went... And like Reeve and Chris and everyone was laughing and joining in and everyone in the plane. Because it's really not like a British thing to do. It's such an American thing to do. I don't know if you've ever flown in America, but they tend to do that.
Yeah, they didn't clap when I flew in America.
Really?
Maybe just your presence makes people clap because they feel safe around it.
Oh.
Maybe you give people the clap. Maybe that's what it is.
So I do it, but I find it hilarious ironically. But I don't think most people know that I'm being ironic. So the people next to me is just like, this guy's so weird.
Yeah. I don't blame them. I've got an Arthur one.
Oh, you want to bounce? Yeah,
do
we can do it.
Bounce back and forth?
Yeah, go on.
Okay. Arthur, the type of guy to pull the yawn arm over the shoulder trick on a date.
I did that to you. Oh no, I didn't do it to you.
Who'd you do it to?
George.
You motherfucker.
We were watching Doctor Who with the BBC, and halfway through,
And you hit one of those?
I hit the yawn and arm around the shoulder.
Yeah, so there you go. You were right. Arthur is the type of guy to do that. You just got that look about you. You know what I mean?
This is so true. I'm the type of guy to join in a conversation that happened 30 minutes ago.
Oh, that literally happens all the time because he doesn't listen. When he's on his phone, he can't hear anything.
Have we spoken about this on the podcast? I think we have, but maybe we haven't.
I don't know if we have. I've never met, even most people's parents can't multitask when they're on a phone, right?
Yeah.
It's quite a general thing. My mum, if she's on the phone, she can't hear you. Arthur is a whole new level. Like even when you say his name, it doesn't even register in his brain. So you can go, Arthur, can we do Arthur? And if he's on his phone, he's just in a whole different world.
I've become the definition of locked in so often.
Yeah, that's why they named the show after you.
Like if I'm doing something on my phone, to be fair, a lot of time I do the daily chess thing where like you get a day to do move. So if someone does their move, I'm like, oh, I've got to do my move, and you've got unlimited time. So I'm often like calculating a bunch of different lines and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And for some reason, my brain just completely blocks out the outside world. Like I fully switch off. But it's not just with chess. Like there are so often if I just get caught in like a train of, I guess the kind of way we do it on the podcast, we can just randomly like one little thing will set us off.
Yeah.
A couple of minutes later, we'll be on the most irrelevant tangent. If you said like, oh, here's what we ended up on, you'd never guess what we started speaking about a few minutes before.
Yeah, that's true.
Like we do it on the podcast, and like that happens inside my head so often. And so like sometimes I'll just zone out, and like I'll just be going through all of these like weird conversation paths with myself in my head.
Yeah.
And I completely forget about the outside world. And it's something I really want to work on as a person, because like I'm aware it probably comes across as quite rude when you're trying to talk to me.
Yeah.
Like I've said to like Bach sometimes, I'm like, if I look like I'm locked in on my phone, like get my attention first, because you've realised that sometimes you'll start talking to me and then like 2 minutes later be like, so what do you think? And I'm like,
yeah.
Huh? Because you'd be like, oh, you didn't take any of that in.
Most people would take some of it in at least.
Like even there, when we were prepping this podcast before, I was in between Batch and Lara, and I was prepping the Marie Curie thing, and I was like, once I get to the end, I kind of heard something I kind of wanted to get involved in, but I was like, I'm right in the middle of like reading about this like Marie Curie experiment.
Yeah.
And then it finished, and I was like, wait, what was that about the podcast?
Yeah, we had a whole conversation. You were like, wait, can you say that whole thing again?
Yeah, and I really want to get better at it. But it's so hard because like once I'm locked in, like it's hard to like almost be aware that I'm locked in because I'm so locked in. Does that make sense? And it happened on a couple of videos we've done lately. You love the purple photo of me locked in and George. I love that so much. We had done a couple of videos with George, and George does a lot of his shoots where like they're quite long, all one take, like no pauses and breaks and stuff.
Yeah.
And so inevitably there just sometimes hits points where like, we'll do a mic check or something. And then whilst everyone's checking the mic, I'll just go, okay, like what's my latest chess move? Or like I'll start thinking about something. And then George will probably go, right, okay, let's get back into the video.
But
and for like 5-10 minutes, I'm still locked in my own little world.
Yeah.
And then I look back at the video and I'm like, I was just not there. And there's just whole clips of you three laughing at stuff.
And you're just there.
And I'm just there like,
the shot every minute one is so funny. For like a full minute, you're just there like this, dressed as a pineapple.
I'm tapping my head. I'm there like that. And you're like, he's communicating with other pineapples, which is so funny.
Yeah. Because you were as well.
Yeah, I really want to get better at it on videos. Yeah, I don't know. I get that. That's given me a crazy amount of people diagnosing me with stuff as well. Like I know I say I get it a lot with autism. People will go like,
what?
Oh, you did this?
What? I haven't even noticed that.
That surprised me. Yeah, I get it. But that one, I was hearing conditions I've never heard of before.
Just making shit up.
I'm patient zero.
You got autism. That's what you got, bro.
But a lot of people in the comment sections, funny enough, are like, "Oh my god, this is so me." So I'm like, "Oh, I'm glad," because if everyone was like, "This boy's a little weirdo," he's just disappeared.
Yeah,
it genuinely is like someone's lobotomized me.
You could do with a lobotomy, I think.
Maybe we should do that for a podcast.
What, a lobotomy?
Special.
Just get a lobotomy. Yeah. Maybe your frontal lobe never developed.
Yeah. Anyway, another one.
That's the type of guy to yell Geronimo before jumping into a pool. Oh, the thing is, it's actually kind of on my.
You definitely would do that as well.
on my bedroom wall. I've got a photo of myself doing a cannonball into.
No way. And did you yell Geronimo beforehand?
Probably, or bombs away or something.
Bombs away.
Bombs away.
Yeah, I'm going to look at some of the Batch ones as well, actually.
Oh, God.
Batch the type of guy to blow bubbles in his bath under the water.
Yeah, just under there.
That's really satisfying.
It sounds like you're the type of guy to do it, bro.
Sometimes if I'm in a big body of water, like if I'm swimming or out in sea, and I'm a bit bored.
No, we know what you do out at sea, bro. We know full well.
Stop
what you do
referencing this
out at
airport
sea.
video.
Yeah,
I'm
we
paying a
know.
lot of money to have that erased from the internet.
I'm just trying to look for some that are actually accurate as well. Because there's some that is just you, but I want it to be a bit more, a little bit lateral thinking, you know?
I know what you mean.
Oh, Arthur the type of guy to be bad at Among Us. Yeah, preach it to the choir, y'all.
Batch the type of guy to have seasonal candles. I think they've got that the wrong way around.
Yeah, Arthur's got seasonal candles.
I've just gotten rid of my
Sounds like
Halloween
a
candles
disease.
and pulled out my Christmas candles.
You pulled them out?
Because I do say, I don't think you should do anything Christmassy until December 1st. And on December 1st, you decorate, you put the tree up, you start playing Christmas music, yeah, and all of a sudden it hits you like a glorious wave. But Christmas candles this year, I've got a couple beforehand.
I've still got Halloween decorations up.
Don't cancel me.
It's dark humour.
It's dark humour. I get Christmas candles out in November. It's dark humour. Don't cancel me.
Batch is the type of guy to pinch your nose and say, I've got your nose. I don't think I've done that yet.
No.
But I should do that more often. It just makes people feel more at home. Oh my God, there's another. Batch the type of guy to smell something bad and say, P.U. and hold his nose.
He can't hold that
No,
thing.
I need two hands.
He does that. Yeah.
P.U. P.U.
I love that I make large nose jokes when I have also a large nose, but in a different dimension.
Actually, that was a cool fact that I found. You know, so there's only two things you can see from space: the Great Wall of China and Arthur's nose. Oh, that was awesome!
You did what you see. You start with something really serious. That makes it so much funny, though. Good job. But
You got my tip doing that.
all of the ones batches reading out is from Patreon, and all the ones
Yeah.
I'm reading out are from Instagram.
Oh God! Do you know what they think you're? They think you're more timid than you are. This one says Arthur's the type of guy to call 999 when his house is burning down, but start with I'm so sorry to bother you. Can you put this fire out? It's okay if not.
I am very like that with strangers.
No, you'll say put the fucking fire out now.
Well, I don't mean
You bastard! You fire bastards!
no. I don't like to inconvenience people
How could?
unless it's funny.
Yeah, you brought me upstairs to flush the toilet for you yesterday.
Yeah, when you're close to me, I have no respect for your time or energy.
All right, fine. Arthur's the type of guy to say, "Hello, is anyone there?" in a haunted house. You just would, but that's a pretty general thing, isn't it? Hello? Well, excuse me, what the
Arthur's
actual
the type
fuck?
of guy to watch his videos back and sigh.
You do not sigh, you
can't-
laugh.
Yeah, well, edits and funny moments I do, but I think it was George we briefly spoke about this on the Useless Hotline as well, but I don't know if you're like this. Do you find yourself like super overly like critical after you've filmed a video with someone and you're like, oh, is that going to be funny? Will that come across well? Does that come across right? I think like early on, because I did so many years of content creation where like everything was scripted. So like when I do like a big ed video, like I'd really make sure that like what I was saying, I wanted to say that it was like the most clear, coherent way of saying it.
Yeah.
That like it was fair, reasonable, representing my views, all that kind of stuff. And then on my like Arthur Frederick channel, which is now essentially my main channel, and like the videos with you guys, like obviously our humor is just like saying stuff out loud that's like outrageous.
Yeah.
Not in like a, you always say like we try and find like a reasonable line. But like getting close to the line is what we find funny, where it's like that's not actually going to offend anyone, but like it's dark humor. It's dark humor. Just get used to it.
Yeah.
And so like so often when I film like a collab video, I should be lying in bed at night just being like, I wonder if that would just get taken the complete wrong way, or like would that
really?
come out? Yeah. And watching videos back.
I don't really think about it.
Do you not?
Not really.
Even with the thing with like, do you remember when we did the mukbang? And I was
and
like,
you were pronouncing
and I pronounced it in a way that I like at the time I was like, oh, like, you know, I'll try to say it a like more accurate way. And I was like, I could definitely see. And I wonder if it's some sort of like a slight kind of anxiety, I guess.
Yeah.
But like for the specific things and just being like, wow, I kind of can imagine a world where everyone goes like, oh, like him using this accent or, oh yeah, because we spoke about this. Because it was the same with like Arabic and stuff.
We're always going to have some level of fear of being cancelled anyway. Because especially like there's things that we'll say now that won't be acceptable in 10 years. And that will be a cycle that continues forever, you know?
Yeah.
Even the most mundane things that everyone finds acceptable now, at some point, that may not be acceptable. So you can look deeply into everything and question everything, but it's a difficult one.
Yeah. I think just the upsetting idea is that like it gets taken the wrong way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because like, you never mean any harm or anything.
No.
It's like you don't, yeah.
So that's the like this like sad, stressful thing. It's like fair enough if like, you know, mid podcast I just punched you in the face because you're annoying me, like, you know, and everyone was like, oh, he punched him, that's, you know.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, oh, that's not on. Like, totally fair enough. But if I like make a joke where I like, well, like we just had those nose jokes and someone was like, oh, that was actually really mean. That was too harsh. Like, I feel like he really meant that, or he's trying to upset him, or that kind of stuff. It's like,
and I was.
Oh, that just kind of sucks.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I do worry about it, probably more than I should.
Yeah, probably.
Do you not never get that really?
What,
Not
worry
really.
about?
Just like
even
just
if
someone just taking something completely wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I do worry about that because it only takes one person to like break it down and say, oh, this is what he meant by it, or he clearly thinks this when he says this, for other people to pick it up and be like, yeah, maybe you're right, actually. But no, I try not to worry about it because it's completely out of our control.
Yeah.
You know, and if it does ever get brought up, like where someone misreads what you mean, I guess you just got to deal with it at the time.
I always thought, because I used to say divvy a lot, because I was like, when I was obviously with the 90 Day Fiance stuff, there's so many like just divvies on there, basically. And I went to uni with a guy from Middlesbrough, and he was used to say divvy, and I thought it was a funny word. And I was like, loads of words, people, even like now, I see every now and then people go like, you shouldn't use the word idiot or lame and stuff because of like the connotations and stuff. And I was like, imagine if in like 5-10 years, divvy becomes like a really bad slur.
Yeah.
And someone goes through like 100 videos of me constantly saying it.
Just full of that.
Just be cooked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I do think of that sort of stuff.
Not like a serious one where I'm like, damn, like is someone actually gonna, but yeah, I don't know. Interesting one.
It's a difficult one because like you could end up in a cycle where you go back and watch your old videos every year to make sure they're still acceptable. Do you know what I mean? Because if times change, so words become like off limits, and you're gonna have to go back and delete loads of videos where you said divvy. And we're gonna have to delete this podcast because we've said it now.
Yeah. Anyway, have you got any more type of guy ones?
I got Batch the type of guy to turn in a chair and say, I've been expecting you when a guest arrives. Do I do that?
Yes. Oh my goodness. You guys probably saw because someone clipped it, but Batch recently built some wardrobes or something, and so he borrowed my like screwdriver and stuff, and I went down to get it.
Yeah.
And 5 minutes later, we were belting out Frank Sinatra on his karaoke machine.
Yeah. Oh god, that was because
in his room that was lit red from his mood lighting.
I just had people round, like George and everyone was there for fireworks.
Yeah,
and then everyone
me as well.
went.
By the way, that's
no, you weren't there. Everyone went, and then you came back down 10 minutes later for the screwdriver.
Yeah,
and I was just in there singing karaoke. So you just simply couldn't resist.
Yeah,
you simply couldn't resist. I think it was the mood lighting that really got you. Anyway.
Yeah, but even then, I'm starting to think I'm actually just a massive overthinker. Because I remember we had this like whole fireworks night, played a bunch of games, watched a bunch of. Did we watch anything? I just played lots of Jackbox.
We played Jackbox.
Had a pizza, and everyone left. I think Chris was like, time for bed for me. He's a bit more of an early sleeper, early riser than George. And you could tell George was like, I'd probably be down to stay, but I'll go home with Chris. And I was like, I'll go as well then. And so I got upstairs, and then I'm starting to build stuff because I got a wardrobe as well for inside the cupboard. And I was like, oh, can I come grab my screwdriver? And then obviously I came back down, we were doing the karaoke, and Liv puts on her story. And I was like, oh, imagine if like George or Chris saw that and were like, Arthur like faked leaving
Yeah.
to come back
To
down
do
and karaoke,
Yeah, you
because
did say
they
that,
didn't want to
yeah.
sing with us.
Yeah. And I did know what you mean. I do know what you mean by that as well. Because there was a thought in my head. I was like, I don't want them to think that you like
We've been
went
like,
just to come
time
back.
for everyone to go to bed
just
now.
so you could do karaoke.
Just so we could do karaoke.
No, I know what
and
you
so
mean.
we could stay ponder mic for the whole
Yeah,
time.
Ponder Mike. But no, he came down, did half of Sir Frank Sinatra, took his screwdriver and left. So you used me, really?
Yep.
And then you came back down to get the charger.
You should have given me that back.
No.
Also, it's broken, isn't it? The screwdriver. You definitely broke it.
I didn't use it. Liv used it.
She broke it.
You've got to speak to her. She builds stuff.
She
I don't.
busted that thing.
Did she?
She did.
Although she said it was never good. She slagged it off. So.
Okay.
That's another one. Slag it off. I reckon that'll eventually. That can't be good. Saying slag it off.
I feel like slag probably has different etymology. That can't be related to like the slut shaming word, can it?
I don't know.
Laura, can you really quickly?
Just search slag.
No. Perhaps from the
Strike.
strike with reference to fragments formed by hammering. So where did it become criticized?
Abusive, insulting manner. The film has been slagged by many critics. Oh no, it's just criticise in British.
Stony waste, to slag something off. Can we get some sort of like etymology for slag it off or slag off?
That's what it says there.
What? Does that have etymology of slag off?
Informal British. Oh no, it doesn't. It just says is an abusive and insulting manner. The film has been slagged by many critics.
Yeah, can you do slag off etymology?
I thought
please?
slagging had something to do with sex.
There you go, 1970s.
Middle Low German. Borrowed from the early Scandinavian.
It means to criticize someone harshly or in an unpleasant way.
So is it not
not very
related to slag?
It's not really clear. Yeah, so I don't think slag off
It's related
is
to
related
slag.
to slag in terms of like sex shaming.
Arthur, the type of guy to say no more Mr. Nice Guy when he's about to fight. Okay, I think we leave them there.
I don't fight. Arthur the type of guy to use AI for all his responses.
Well, that's facts.
Everyone always thinks because I write in a certain way and I guess speak in a certain way that I use AI. Like everyone in the Patreon chat's always like, you definitely just wrote this with AI.
I think you are AI.
And all my comments, whenever I like watch another person's videos, like we did the More Sidemen video where Bez took me, Toby and Ginge to go watch United West Ham.
Yeah.
Ten Hag's last ever game as well. And he got sacked after it. It was a really depressing day out. But I was like, oh, bit of a stink of a result, but a great day out. Thanks for having us, boys. And everyone was like, what the hell is with this PR reply?
Really?
I was like...
To be fair, you are very PR.
Do you think?
Oh my God, it's like your stories. They make me laugh. Can I speak about that?
My PR stories?
Your PR stories are so funny. Oh, thank you for this La Parfum. I love it.
This is what I mean. For me, I feel this is so normal. I got roasted for it.
Wow, thank you, Match Attacks. You just know that he's going, yippee!
By the way, I love getting gifted stuff. I think it's like the coolest thing ever.
Do you know what? If I was head of PR of any firm, I'd send it straight to you because you're doing them.
Because every time I get
justice.
them, I just a proper story just being
Yeah,
really
he does.
excited. Because I don't get that much, to be
It's
fair.
just so funny to me.
Like, it's because... Well, I mean, because you've got like 2.1 mil on TikTok and like a mil on Insta, you probably get like a lot of PR because people go, he's got a lot of views for stories and stuff. I've only recently grown an Insta following, and I've got like 200 and something K on Insta. So like, I'm obviously not as big as like you, George, Chris, Arthur, on like especially those sorts of social medias. So I don't feel like I get PR as much as you guys. So when I get it, it feels like I've just been given a gift.
Yeah.
So like Yves Saint Laurent sent me and you actually the same aftershave. That's why we smell identical. And what?
Oh, no, nothing. Carry on.
What are you doing?
Don't worry.
He just held his phone up to the camera and pressed a button.
Wait. What did we get sent?
The Yves Saint Laurent parfum.
No, you went, La Parfum.
Well, the joke was that I was pronouncing it. But either way, I did this really excited, like, I jokingly was like, oh, I keep meeting everyone in the streets and they're like, oh, you smell so nice.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd tell you why. And then apparently everyone just thought I was being completely serious.
Yeah, I said to him, people aren't going to know that's a joke. No one knows that's ironic.
And loads of people
It
were
was
replying
so
like,
funny.
you're so weird, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
you're so fucking
Theo
weird,
was
bro.
like, this is the funniest story I've ever seen. And I was like,
it was so funny.
I was like, I just meant to enthusiastically say that it
was so-
smells nice.
It was so funny.
In a way that was like, entertaining.
It was so
And I got
so
cooked for
funny.
it.
That was the best story I've ever seen on
You
that.
and George and Chris were like, We were sending that around our group chats.
I wasn't sending it around, all right?
I was like, oh dear.
I make fun of you to your face, okay?
But yeah, I don't know. I must just have a real, I don't know, just like AI robotic way of speaking sometimes. Boy, that jump scared me.
You shut yourself. That was not programmed in.
Put that soundboard away.
Okay, and on that note, let's do science, fact, or fiction.
I was waiting for a soundboard.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Let's do soundboard, fact, or fiction. Oh, wrong one. Woo! Time to get to the money.
He's got a soundboard.
Woo!
Please,
God.
please put it away.
Put it away.
As well, we've got. Oh, this is so irritating.
Right, let's do this. Okay. Science, fact, or fiction?
Please let that be the last one. Cause it's getting too much.
Okay, fine.
I'm overstimulated.
Last one.
No, please. I'm seriously overstimulated right now.
Okay, fine. Science, fact, or fiction? Humans only use 10% of their brains. Fact or fiction?
Yeah, that's a myth. Definitely a myth.
You are correct. That's right. Scientists actually think we use all of our brain all of the time. That's right. All of our brain all of the time. That's quite a common one. A lot of people would say, oh, we only use 5% of our brains. Imagine when we use the whole thing.
Yeah, we're able to levitate. As if a bunch of extra neurons firing mean that we just
Means I'm
defy
levitating.
physics.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I would agree that we use all of our brain at all times.
Well, you can argue with the scientists.
I would, because when you get you can have scans to show which parts of your brain are being active at different points of time.
Yeah, but...
So there'll be neurons at certain times that aren't firing.
But I think they argue that they're firing to an extent.
Does it mean like a
everywhere at
part
all
as in
times.
like this general area which deals with conversation?
I don't know.
is
It just said
active?
scientists. The general thought amongst scientists is that we use all of our brain all of the time, pretty much.
Not all of our brain, all parts maybe. I don't think all of our brain makes sense.
I don't know. You need
I'm
to
being
speak to
pedantic
them.
there
You need
anyway.
to speak to them. You
Okay,
really
now
do.
I'm being annoying. Now I'm not going to sleep tonight because I'm going to remember that time I was being annoying on the podcast.
Oh, I opened the app and it hadn't quite finished.
Please don't play it again.
Okay, fine. I won't play it again.
Oh no!
2. Goldfish only have a 3-second memory.
Also not true. Yeah, I know this one's not true.
Have you spoken to any of them?
My memory's gone. I'm a goldfish.
No, it's a myth. They can remember things for months and they can also be trained.
To do
That's
what?
cool. They can just be trained.
To twerk?
I mean, if you wanted them to twerk. One of my greatest
doesn't
videos actually involved a goldfish.
Really?
It was a balloon mollyfish to be precise. And it was whether it was pregnant or not.
Wow.
You ever seen that? It's a classic.
No.
It's a classic.
Interesting.
I think it's got 10,000 views. You should go back and check that out. Seriously. Number 3, cracking your knuckles, which is something you love to do. You did it before we got on the tube, you remember? And everyone said, shut up.
Yeah.
That causes arthritis.
Also not true.
Oh my God, he's 10 for 10. That's right.
Because I know this because someone's won a Nobel Prize for this. Do you know that?
Oh, I didn't know that.
This guy spent decades cracking only the knuckles on one of his hands.
Wow.
And I personally think this is too anecdotal. I don't think that him doing that and not developing arthritis
A Nobel Prize he's got for
is
that.
sufficient evidence to conclude that it doesn't cause. It's like him going like, I'm going to spend 10 years not smoking and then 10 years smoking. And if I don't get cancer in the second 10 years, then smoking
That
doesn't
also,
cause
like,
cancer.
that
Do you know
just
what I
means
mean?
we could get a Nobel Prize. If they're giving out like that now, willy-nilly, we could do anything and get it.
Laura, can you just fact check this, please? Just so I don't worry about it late at night today that I've lied on the podcast.
Yeah, that would
Too
be
much worrying.
seriously bad.
Just put knuckle crack Nobel Prize, please. Yeah, and I wonder how long he did it for. There we go.
Long enough.
His name was Donald L. Unger
Ooh.
from California. He cracked the knuckles of his left hand, but not his right, every day for 50 years. And he won a Nobel Prize in medicine. That is actually that was way too much.
That was too much, wasn't it? I'll stop now. It's going to ruin the whole
overstimulating me.
podcast.
It really is.
Okay, well, that's interesting, Dr. Donald Unger. Stop doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
Number 4.
I don't think.
Oh, yeah, I didn't
the p-value
reveal-
would show
I
that
didn't
it was
reveal the
statistically
truth.
significant. But sorry, go on.
I didn't reveal. It was true.
Oh, it's true.
No, it's a myth.
Yeah.
But imagine after that. Yeah, the sound is just gas bubbles popping in the joint fluid.
But it is weird that the more you crack them, the more you can crack them.
Crack them, yeah, because I could do it with my neck now.
Yeah.
Wait.
Oh, I can do it on my back.
Wait, I can do it with my pussy and my crack as well.
That is vile.
Sorry. Number 4, bats are blind.
Bats are blind.
Bats are blind. You know the thing that Batman named him after himself? After?
I do know they do use echolocation, so I do imagine they have weak eyesight,
Some
but
people
they've got
say,
eyes.
some people go, oh, you're blind as a bat.
But that could just mean, like, let's say bats have like 10% of the vision capabilities of us. Blind as a bat would still make sense because they don't have great vision. And blind, I believe, doesn't mean you just straight up can't see. Like, there are plenty of people who are legally blind.
I'm legally blind.
But I can see, but barely.
But barely.
So I think they're not. It depends. Yeah, you'd have to define blind, but if you mean totally blind, then I don't think they're totally blind.
It's a myth.
Yeah.
Also, I realized after going, you already know it's a myth because it can't be. It's a truth. Can it?
Why?
You would say it's true or it's a myth.
Oh.
So I revealed it before revealing
It's a fact, you could say.
No, it's a bat. Bat. I said bat.
Okay.
Okay, so it's a myth. Oh, I already said that, didn't I? Yeah, they have small eyes, they have sensitive vision that allows them to see in conditions that humans would consider pitch black. However, their vision is not as sharp or as colourful as human vision.
Sad.
And most of them rely on echolocation.
Yeah, you know blind people can learn to echolocate.
I heard that.
You seen that guy? That's a very impressive clicking sound.
Thank you.
ASMR. Okay, too much.
Damn.
Yeah, there was a guy, I think he made a YouTube video on it, and he learnt to echolocate whilst he was cycling.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's fast.
Yeah, I don't think he was cycling particularly fast.
Okay.
And he might have been Dutch or something like.
Oh, they do that.
I remember
cycle
very
a
little
lot,
of it,
yeah.
other than it sort of like looked like country roads.
Yeah. Take me home.
But yeah, we obviously won't be as capable as other animals, but I think it's quite cool that we can.
Yeah. Yeah, you got it. Okay, number 5, bananas are radioactive. Radioactive!
This is something I've heard is true and I believe is true, so I'll be surprised if they're not. But isn't everything slightly radioactive?
Even this Badusi might be. Do you want the trick? Is that your final answer?
So I think that's true.
It's a fact.
Yeah. Oh my goodness,
See?
I've got every single one right so far.
Yeah, bananas contain potassium-40, a radioactive isotope, which is totally safe in small quantities. Don't worry, guys. But it is radioactive. It's radioactive. And that's what Imagine Dragons were singing about.
A banana.
This one's a fabulous, fabulous question. Ready?
Go on.
A day on Venus is longer than a year on Venus. Ooh, he's like, oh, damn. If you had a soundboard right now, if a soundboard could talk.
Is it? I mean, obviously I know it's possible because it would just need to circulate the sun faster than it does spins on Earth.
It's entirely plausible.
But is it Mars is also has this? I don't know. This is one did you know this one before you read it, by the way?
I did.
Yeah. I definitely know this is true for at least one of the planets. So I'm just going to say I'm going to say true. But I might have the wrong planet.
Oh, no.
But I think it's a fact.
Guess what?
What?
It's a fact.
Yes,
It's a fact. That's right. It rotates super slowly, meaning it takes 243 Earth days to complete a rotation, but it takes only 225 Earth days to complete a one orbit of the sun.
Wow.
That's right. Orbits the sun quicker than it rotates. That's a really cool fact.
That is cool.
You should share that with all your family.
Laura, can you quickly search if any other planets in our solar system have years longer than they have days longer than years?
I think it's just penis, but I might be wrong.
Yeah, Venus is the planet.
Venus is her.
How many how many Martian days is a Martian year?
How many Martian
Can
souls?
you Google that as well, please? Yeah, because
is a Martian year?
That's cool.
358. 687 Earth days.
Oh.
668 souls. in a Martian year.
Mars days is only 39 minutes. Oh, longer than Earth days. I was going to say
39 minutes.
Do you know how crazy that would be if Mars was rotating on its axis one revolution per 39 minutes?
Yeah, you would want to harness that energy and put it into a rose toy.
That would be most enjoyable.
Magnets, coils, electricity, generation, fun. Go on.
Okay, there is no sound in space.
No sound.
There is no sound in space. There's no sound.
So for sound,
in space.
you do need a medium to travel through.
A psychic medium.
But space isn't completely empty. So, yeah, so this is a tough one again on a technicality, because I know, like, you know, the sound.
Shall I give you some advice? Don't let the technicalities weigh you down.
Well, the technicality is kind of with the case with the bat. Like, some people would argue that their limited eyesight would be considered blind.
And that
Or like as
technicality
blind
did
as
not
a bat.
serve you correct.
But yeah, you know, the sun,
No.
if...
Of course I know the sun.
Do you know how loud the sun would be if sound was able to travel through the vacuum
you'd want to
of
tell
space?
that. Yeah, you would tell that to shut up.
I think it would be as loud as a jackhammer. Laura, can you search how many decibels it would be? I think it's like 120 or 140. How many decibels loud would the sun be?
How many decibels sound with the sun by? If we can work that out.
Around 100 decibels. That's crazy.
Ooh.
That is crazy.
Oh my God, 100 decibels. That's
So not quite
definitely more
120,
than
140, but it's a lot. That's loud.
That's like 80 decibels.
I would love to know exactly how it would sound as well. That's cool. But thank goodness it can't. So, sound can't travel through a vacuum.
You're right. It needs a medium. It can't travel through a vacuum. Therefore, space is silent.
Yeah.
Oh, silent but deadly.
But I think people have this idea that, like, our atmosphere, right? I think people can often picture it as like a layer where, like, you're either in the atmosphere or out the atmosphere.
Yeah.
But, like, obviously because it's a gradient and it gets thinner as you go up, like, there'll be particles of our atmosphere that are, like, shot off and are halfway between here and the sun.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's technically arbitrary where you say the atmosphere ends.
Yeah. It is kind of like...
Because there's not just like a layer.
Different
that's like,
definitions of space.
This is the atmosphere, this isn't. So, like, technically you could say this bit is space, but because there are particles out there at certain points, so I don't know. That one feels less clear, but if it said through the vacuum of space.
Yeah, your technicalities.
No, yeah. Sorry, I'm being really annoying here.
God, it's just like a soundboard.
We're trying to be accurate here with the science. Anyway, go ahead.
Number eight. The sun is yellow.
I love this, by the way. This is a really fun segment.
Oh, wait, I'll make it miserable. The sun is yellow.
The sun is yellow. I'm almost certain that on the light spectrum, the light that the sun emits is white. So I'm trying to think if there's a way you could be conceived as yellow. I mean, obviously, like when it bounces through our atmosphere and like blue light is scattered. I'm doing it again, aren't I? It's not yellow, it's white.
No, but you were saying the exact right things as well. The sun is white.
Yeah.
Only appears yellow because of the blue light scattered in
Oh,
our
no
atmosphere.
way.
Yeah.
Did I actually say that?
Oh, God.
good
Never
old-
let that happen again.
It's Raleigh scattering as well.
Yeah,
Great
shout
name
out
for
Raleigh.
it.
Number 9, we only see one side of the moon.
We only see one side of the moon.
We only see one side of the moon.
Well, yeah, it's tidally locked to us. So
I shouldn't give anything away.
The same face is locked towards us. That's why, like, the dark side of the moon is a bit of a misnomer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's not that it's dark. Like, I think people often go, "Oh, imagine being on the dark side of the moon. It's perpetually dark."
Yeah.
Like, the reason that you can see the moon when it's like, say, half lit is obviously because the other half, it's a ball, so the other half is obviously lit.
No, it's flat.
So the dark side of the moon isn't dark in the sense of it doesn't get sunlight from the sun. It's dark to our eyes,
which is profound.
Yeah,
that's right. The moon is tidally locked, so we only ever see one side of it.
Nice.
And that just means it rotates in the same rate that it orbits Earth, so you are only ever going to see one side.
Well, there's a theory, and I don't know. I don't really know how strong the evidence is for it, but I'm pretty sure it's relatively well accepted within the scientific community that once the Earth and the moon were together, right? So
Yeah.
I think two objects collided.
Yeah, there was another. They think there was another planet similar to Mars that collided with Earth, and
then because it gets really hot, it would like kind of half fuse and then kind of like split off the same way, like almost like a lava lamp like splits into two. But because it caught in our orbit, it stayed. And so like there are parts of our surface that are completely different. The Earth's surface, like makeup of the Earth, where you go like, well, that's not the same as these other parts.
Yeah.
It must have been a different part of it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. The Earth and the moon. It's kind of sad as well because isn't the moon going away from us
Yeah. No, it's getting closer.
at an inch per year? Is it closer?
Yeah, it's getting closer, I'm pretty sure.
Is it? Lara, can you just check? And by how much?
Well,
but I'm
maybe it
sure
is going
it
further
moves by
away.
like an inch, but it'd be kind of sad if they once met.
Are we losing him or are we
I think the
absorbing
1 inch
him?
thing I might be confusing with the America and Europe as well.
Oh, right.
You know,
yeah.
they are also drifting by like
Yeah.
a centimetre per year. The moon is moving away from the Earth at
moving away.
3.78 centimetres per year. So it is, it's about
Why is it going away?
1.5 inches per year. It's called lunar recession.
No.
And it's been happening since the moon formed 4.5 billion years ago,
We need that.
just like Earth.
This whole time I thought it was getting close to us.
Yeah.
And I studied this.
Oh, certain calculations indicate that the moon will stop moving away from Earth in about 15 billion years. And at that point, Earth will be tidally locked to the moon, meaning that the moon will always sit above the same point. But still, it's kind of sad.
Yeah,
Just
but
like they were once touching and they're never.
in 15 billion years, I'll probably be dead.
Maybe.
I won't even be here to see it.
And can you quickly check Europe and America? Because I think that's a very similar rate, weirdly. Like a weirdly similar rate.
Yeah, they're all flat, aren't they?
Europe and North America are moving apart at a rate of 2.5 centimetres, which is 1 inch per year. Isn't that so bizarre? That,
I think they've
that
probably had a
Europe and
falling out.
America are moving apart at the same rate as the moon and
Or
the
maybe
Earth.
they just, everyone just
About
like,
the same.
it's about an inch. Oh, it's probably moving away about an inch. That's why it's always an inch. That's why our measurements
That
are an
is
inch.
crazy. Like, how long was the ruler they needed for both of those? Because the only
Massive
way you
for
can
an
test
inch.
that is just by measuring 1 year, then measuring the next year, and be like, that's an extra inch.
They probably definitely use a ruler. You're right.
I wish I'd grown an inch a year.
Anyway, number 10, the sun will eventually become a black hole. You know all about black holes.
Yeah. Once it stops burning, it'll stop having enough energy to be essentially pushing outwards. It will collapse in on itself.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
It's a myth.
Is it a myth?
It'll become a white dwarf.
Oh.
It's not big enough to become a black hole.
Oh, really?
It'll expand to become a red giant,
Yeah.
and then because it's not big enough, it will shed its outer layers and collapse to become a white dwarf.
Oh, but remain as a white dwarf.
Yeah, only the really big stars go on to become either a neutron star or a black hole, depending on its size.
Damn.
But you had a perfect score. You had 9 out of 10 perfect score up until then. Now on number 11.
9 out of 10. Perfect score.
So far, you got 9 out of 10 perfect score.
That's not bad. I'll tell
Now
you.
the 11th question, which is a bonus question, the final one, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Saturn could float in water if we had a body of water big enough to test it.
Is Saturn going to be less dense than water as an entire planet? Are there diamonds on Saturn or Jupiter? Does it rain diamonds on Saturn or Jupiter?
Don't actually know the answer to that.
They're both gas giants, right?
Yeah.
Can a gas giant be less dense? I mean, obviously by saying it's gas, that makes me think that it would float. But because the gravity is so large, surely it's pulling that gas. It's gas. Oh, this is a really tough one.
Look, have you ever
It could
farted?
float.
Have you ever farted? That's essentially Saturn.
I'm 50-50 between my thinking being it's a gas giant, so gas, it would obviously be less dense than water, but at the same time, its massive gravity would make it denser than water. I'm going to say it would float.
Guess what?
What?
You got 10 out of 11 because
Oh,
Saturn would
would float.
float. That's right. I just realised, because we call them gas giants, they're basically just big farts. How funny is that? That's so funny thought experiment.
Wow.
Well done. You got
Lara,
11 out of 10.
Can you quickly Google
No, 10 out
what
of 11.
planet it rains on?
Oh, Uranus.
Oh, Uranus and Neptune. The ice giants.
They're also gas giants, though.
Are they?
Yeah, they're just gas. They've got an ice core, whereas Neptune and whereas Jupiter and Saturn, I don't think the cores are icy. Icy.
What's at the can you quickly Google what's at the core of, let's say Jupiter, because that's a gas giant, and that'll suffice.
I assume it's just more gas.
Is it
Heavy elements,
a
rock.
dense mix of heavy elements, including rock, ice, and metal?
metal.
So I don't really think it should be called a gas
Well,
giant.
Yeah, but
It's just got
vast
a
majority
thick
of it is
But
gas.
that just means it's got a hella thick atmosphere.
yeah, but the core, it's basically just a core and then gas.
It's like
you can't,
it's like Earth, like rock, ice, metal.
it's not terrestrial. Like the options are terrestrial or you're a gas giant.
Wait, say that again.
The options are you're a terrestrial planet or you're a gas giant.
Yeah, but that's got a terrestrial.
You can't land on Jupiter, but you can land on Mars.
Well, that's how we judge it, by whether we can land on it.
No, but like that is that's just defined as a gas giant. Just as a gas giant, a giant planet which is majority gas.
Oh, it's majority gas. Is that the thing? It's
Yeah, I mean it's just a gas giant.
Can you type in define gas giant, please? Because I'm guessing it will tell us exactly what.
Define it.
A gas giant is a large planet mostly composed of helium and or hydrogen. They're mostly hydrogen and helium, but most of the hydrogen and helium is actually in liquid state. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune are all the Jovian planets, which means Jupiter-like. That's quite cool.
Yeah, and what's funny is in most
That's so
stellar
interesting.
systems, the gas giants are the closest to their sun, their star. Whereas with us, our gas giants are further out, which is really unusual. And they call them hot Jupiters. They call them hot Jupiters.
That is
A gas
interesting.
giant close to its star is called a hot Jupiter.
I mean, because they're the first elements on the periodic table, they are the like most abundant.
Yeah, but
Elements.
it just means that our gas giants went through some kind of migration at some point, which pushed them out.
Stinky.
Yeah, probably because they're just big farts. And Earth came along, they're like, oh, hell no.
Yeah. And they, out of embarrassment, were like, sorry.
Yo, out of here, boy.
Okay.
So, yeah. Oh, I just had my nut.
Final segment, Stephen Hawking time. So we've got a weird
Where is he?
experiment. No, he's not coming.
Where is he?
He's passed away.
No, he's not.
Stephen Hawking.
Stephen Hawking's not dead. Come in here.
Stephen Hawking is dead.
Where is he?
Well, it depends on how you view time. Is it linear or not?
Or is it fat?
So, we've devised an experiment. Today is the 7th of November, but this episode goes public on the 14th of November.
Yeah.
Patrons will get it on the 13th, granted.
Granted.
But we would like to extend an invitation to a rare few of you, if any, of time travelers. So, if you're watching this at any point in time and you are able to time travel, we would like you to meet us. Where should we meet them?
No. We want them to send us a message.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's probably easier for them because they could be anywhere in the universe.
Yeah.
We want you to message us on the 8th of November. We want you to message the Batch and Arthur Patreon, the Batch and Arthur podcast Instagram account.
Yeah.
On the 8th of November.
8th of November. Any time on the 8th of November.
Just send us a message saying, hey, I'm a time traveler.
Yeah.
Because by the time this goes public,
It will be, what date will it be? The 12th?
the 13th or the 14th.
Oh, the 13th, right. So you'll get this on the 13th. The time traveler can go back and send us a message.
So the time traveler can get it from the 13th onwards, come back in time and message us.
Yeah.
And this is loosely based on something Stephen Hawking did.
Yeah,
wasn't
shout
it?
out to Stephen Hawking.
So he said that he was going to throw a dinner party for time travelers. But in the past,
Yeah.
so by the time he told everyone, it was too late. And so any time traveler may go back in time and join him.
Yeah.
And now he says no one joined him, but I wonder if he had to say that because the time traveler was like, if you tell anyone I came,
Yeah.
it confirms time travel, it ruins the linear progression of this timeline, and I essentially won't exist to come back in time and everything will be ruined. So just tell him no one came. I think there's a small non-zero possibility that Stephen Hawking that night dined with at least one time traveler.
I don't think there is.
Really?
Because I didn't even get the invitation late, let alone early.
You've got it now. So
Yeah, I could go back. 'Cause
now...
what he did is he had a dinner party, then the next day sent out the invitations. So technically,
In the same way
we
we're
could
doing.
just go attend that dinner party at any point in time.
if we get time
And
travel.
the thing is, someone eventually will attend that dinner party.
Yeah.
Because we'll get to a point where we can time travel. Someone can attend that dinner party. So someone definitely was at that dinner party with Stephen Hawking. Someone definitely will message the Batch and Arthur Instagram account.
That would be so cool. So you guys are going to have to tune in to episode 33 to find out if anyone messaged.
That's right. But first of all, you have to like, subscribe, comment, share this to your family group chat. You have to subscribe to both our YouTube channels. You have to follow all of our social media to lock in the giveaway. 100.
Keep going.
Okay, we're giving away the opportunity to DM us. It's gonna be lit. So make sure you do all that.
Yeah, do all that cool things. Make
Yeah.
sure to find out next week what happened. Join our Patreon to get early access along
Yeah.
with all that other stuff.
Yes, you can find out soon.
And we need to do this on more of them. Leave an emoji. How about a clock?
Yeah,
for
how about
time.
a cock? Do one of them. A clock.
A clock.
Clock. A clock.
Is that what you said?
Yeah,
I thought you
said
dropped
cock.
the L.
I said cock, yeah.
Okay. Drop a clock emoji.
Cock. Clock emoji.
And
I don't think you're saying it right.
And if you haven't already, thanks for watching.